the bustling city of ancient Athens, there lived a man named Darius. Darius was a well-meaning and diligent citizen, but he often found himself frustrated and disheartened by the actions and behaviors of those around him. His neighbor constantly borrowed tools without returning them. His closest friend often arrived late to their meetings, and his sister seemed to care little for family obligations. No matter how much he tried to change their ways, Darius's efforts only led to more disappointment and frustration. One sunny afternoon, feeling particularly frustrated by the latest interactions with his neighbor, Darius decided to take a walk outside the city walls to clear his mind. He wandered aimlessly in thought until he found himself in a lush orchard filled with the sweet aroma of ripening fruit. As he strolled through the trees, lost in his thoughts, he came across an elderly man carefully tending to the apple trees, pruning leaves and removing dead branches. The old man, noticing Darius's troubled expression, greeted him warmly and invited him to sit and share some apples. Grateful for the company, Darius accepted and joined the old man to sit under the shade of a large apple tree. Seeing the opportunity to unburden himself, Darius shared his thoughts with the old man, explaining how hard he had tried to change the people in his life and how futile his efforts seemed to be. The old man listened patiently, a knowing look on his face. When the old man could see that Darius had finished, he picked an apple from the tree and held it up. "Tell me, young man," he began, "what fruit is this?" "It looks like an apple," Darius replied, a little puzzled by the simplicity of the old man's question. The old man nodded. "Now suppose you wanted an orange from this tree. No matter how much you wish for it, or how hard you try, can this tree provide you with an orange?" "Of course not," Darius said, shaking his head. "An apple tree can only produce apples." "Exactly," said the old man. "Just as this tree can only bear apples, people can only behave according to their nature. No matter how much you wish for them to change, they will only act as they are inclined. If you spend your time and energy trying to make an apple tree produce oranges, you will only find frustration and disappointment." Darius sat quietly, absorbing the wisdom of the old man's words. "So what should I do?" he asked after a moment. The old man took a bite out of a freshly picked apple, gazing distantly out into the orchard for a moment, before looking at Darius and saying, "Instead of trying to change others, try to focus on what you can control, your own thoughts and actions. Accept that people will act according to their nature, just as this tree produces apples. When you let go of your desire to control others, you free yourself from the burden of frustration and can instead choose how you respond to them. This acceptance will bring you peace." Darius felt a weight lift from his shoulders. At that moment he realized that he had been trying to change the unchangeable all this time, and in doing so he had only caused himself frustration. He thanked the old man for his wisdom and promised to carry this lesson with him. As he walked back to the city, Darius felt a newfound sense of calm. He knew that he could not control the actions of his neighbor, his friend, or his sister, but he could control his responses, choosing to act with patience and understanding. In accepting others as they were, he found a new sense of peace. From that day forward, whenever Darius felt the stirrings of frustration, he remembered the lesson of the apple tree and the wise old man. And so, Darius lived a happier and more contented life, in harmony with the nature of those around him.